Game 3 along the banks of the Ohio River for Ryan Howard and the Philadelphia Phillies, and they're in search of a little offense. He'll be in the lineup this afternoon. The Phils will also search for a little warmth today. It is a cool day here in Cincinnati as they wrap up Series number 1 here in 2016. Hi, everybody. I'm Tom McCarthy, joined by Matt Stairs and Ben Davis. We get set to wrap up this first series of the season. Phillies have played good baseball up until the end of these games. Now, that means they're getting excellent starting pitching. And today, Charlie Morton will make his first start for the Phils. He's used to pitching against these Reds, and he's used to, at times, being the stopper, and he's going to need to be the stopper today.
Hopefully, he can duplicate what Jeremy Hellickson did and Aaron Nola did in their first start of the year. They were outstanding and looking for a little bit more of that today out of Charlie Morton. He needs to trust himself. Realize the sinker doesn't have to be on corners. It just needs to be down. He will induce a lot of ground balls.
Well, Charlie Morton in his career, 45-70. This will be his 158th start. Now, he was 9-9 last season, but he has remnants here in Cincinnati of an excellent start where he went 7 scoreless innings, and he's hoping that'll carry over to today's game. Now, will he go to the bullpen? He's going to have to go to the bullpen at some point. Pete Mackanin was non-committal last night, Matt, about what his closer situation would be. This is what he said. It's going to take time. We knew going in we might lose some games not having that guy to close it out at the end. I'm convinced we're going to find the guy or a couple of guys on this team that are capable. But as of right now, we don't have that guy. Dahlia Hinojosa, after the game last night, said, listen, I got to be better. I hope I get another chance here today.
Well, a lot of the relievers have to be better. It was surprising because in spring training they started off so strong. Then all of a sudden the spring training went a little longer. Next thing you know, the baseballs were up in the zone. They were throwing balls out of the zone, getting hit very hard. But they need somebody to step up and say, okay, I'll be the closer. I think Gomez can be that 8 guy. David Hernandez threw the ball very well yesterday, but they need that one guy saying, you know what, I'll be the captain of the bullpen. I will be the closer.
All right, well, the Phillies will see that that's tested again here this afternoon against the Cincinnati Reds. It's the final game of this 3-game series. It will be Charlie Morton on the mound for the Phils, and making his major league debut will be Robert Stevenson. He is one of the Reds' top prospects. In fact, he's their top pitching prospect. Last year, he had 8 wins in the minor leagues. Defense has also helped out the Reds during this series. In fact, Cedric Hunter has been robbed twice by Billy Hamilton. Hamilton's not playing, but Hunter is. Lineups at first pitch when we get back.
baseball as the Phils wrap up this 3-game series before they head to New York to take on the Mets. Let's take a look at the Phils lineup for today, brought to you by Xfinity. Xfinity X1 will change the way you experience TV. So Freddie Galvis leads it off at shortstop, then Odubel Herrera and Maikel Franco. Ryan Howard starts for the second time this year. Andres Blanco the first time. Cedric Hunter's in left field in the bottom third of Ruiz, Borges, and Charlie Morton. And they will face 23-year-old right-hander Robert Stevenson, a former first-round pick by the Cincinnati Reds in 2011. 8 wins last year in the minor leagues. Roughed up a little bit, Matt, during the spring training games, but they feel like he has a bright future.
Well, he has a tremendous arm, that's for sure. Big, tall right-hander. Very good arm, very good fastball. You're going to see today, as you see the scouting report, 91 to 104. My Lord, that's great to say. Reds' first pick in 2011. He is the Reds' top pitching prospect. So it'll be interesting to see what he has today.
Freddie Galvis fouls the 0-1 pitch off, so it's 0-2. You saw them throw the baseball out after the first pitch. There'll be a lot of firsts today for Robert Stevenson, and the Phillies actually hope that they hand him his first loss of his big league career. Galvis so far 2 for 7 in the series. He has a 2-run home run and a double. And he pulls that one to second base. Gets on Pacheco quickly, but 1 away.
But they actually said that he'll pitch right around 94, 93, 94 today. Say he gets so fired up when he pitches that his left shoulder will almost hit the dugout. He just pulls it off so bad. And they say that it's not a great feeling for a right-hander standing there because he misses up and into right-handers a lot.
And that was part of his problem during spring training. He walked 7 in 10 1/3 innings of work. Odubel Herrera, the batter. Odubel 1 hit so far. That was an infield hit, and he takes inside 1-0. The Lucky McDonald's Phillies home run jackpot contestant is Sally Kapler of Gibbsboro. Phillies hit a home run in today's ball game, and they have had 2 home runs already. Then Sally will win $100.
Good luck, Sally.
Swing and a miss by Herrera. It's 1 ball and 1 strike. Odubel last year, 8 home runs, 41 runs batted in, but more importantly, 30 doubles. He also had 3 triples. He has batted second and third so far in the first 3 games. Asking him about his defense today out in center field, he said it was a little difficult getting used to the backdrop here at this ballpark because the Phillies have only played 1 other series. As that one is skied out towards center field. Schebler, last night's hero, backpedaling. And he makes the catch, 2 outs. All right, guys, it's time now for our Nissan keys to the game. Matt, kick us off.
Well, key number 1, don't be satisfied with 2 runs. Add on. Last 2 games, lost 6-2, 3-2 scored in the first inning. In the second inning of the first game, keep it going.
And Charlie Morton needs to trust his sinker. Doesn't have to be on the corners, it just needs to be down. He will induce a lot of ground balls.
Charlie Morton, it's his first time obviously with the Phillies, but he's kind of a relaxed fella getting ready for these games. Franco takes down and away, 1 ball and no strikes. Maikel hit the 2-run home run last night. Pete Mackanin said he crushed it. He said in the dugout, he said it was so loud. And he said the way the wind was blowing in, he said, I don't know if everybody could appreciate how windy it was coming in from right center field.
That's what Matt used to tell his teammates when he was taking BPs. Put your earplugs in, boys.
Yeah. Fuck no swearing. You know, Darren Ruff
About to get loud in here.
Darren Ruff said the ball he hit yesterday.
Yeah.
He said that's all he had. The only difference was he hit the fly ball, and Maikel cut the wind and went below it.
Yep. 1 ball, 1 strike to Franco. Inside, 2-1. Yeah, think about how the game could have changed a little bit if Darren Ruff's ball had gone out. Now you still have to get the outs in the last inning.
Yeah.
But would have been a little bit more of a cushion. Foul tip, and it's 2-2.
You can look at last night's game, and you know Goodell hit a ball down the left field corner. The wind pushed it foul.
Borges
as well. You know, the bottom line is just dumb hitting. It's got to start it more fair.
Maikel checks his swing. They appeal. No swing, says Todd Tishner. Stevenson must be funky coming into the inside part of the plate there.
There's some not too pretty swings here thus far. That was pretty close on Michael.
Just got a piece of that. This will probably be the only start for Stevenson. Now, it also depends on Anthony DeSclafani, who is injured right now. And essentially, that's the spot he's taking in the rotation, at least this time through. In the dirt, ball 4, so Michael draws a walk.
You know, I sit here and I watch Stevenson's delivery, and it's pretty smooth. You know, he doesn't hide the ball real well. Tall, lanky kid. Sometimes they hide the ball a little better than the shorter guys, but he stands almost pretty much in the middle of the rubber as well.
Well, in spring training, his earned run average was 9.58. He pitched in 4 games for the Reds. He allowed 11 earned runs and 12 hits and 10 1/3. As we mentioned before, he walked 7 batters. Ryan Howard is the hitter. The overshift on. Howard waves at the first pitch. His fastball almost looks like it's got a little cut to it.
It does. Little natural cut.
Ryan so far is 0 for 4 on the young year. 11 career home runs here at Great American Ballpark. Out toward left field, playable for Duvall. And the side is retired. So the Phils do get a 2-out walk, but they leave Franco over at first, middle of the first. It's the Phillies nothing and the Reds coming up. Xfinity X1 will change the way you experience TV. Scott Schebler will lead it off and play center field. Suarez bats second, then Joey Votto. Adam Duvall, the cleanup hitters, in left. Then Jay Bruce bats fifth. Jordan Pacheco starts at second base. Brandon Phillips is still under the weather. Avanda Jesus is at shortstop today, batting seventh. Barnhart eighth, and then Robert Stevenson will bat ninth. And they'll face Phillies right-hander Charlie Morton. 32 years old, a lifetime record of 6-7 against the Cincinnati Reds. And those are his numbers from a season ago. He was injured a little bit last year. Had a decent spring. ERA was a little higher than he would like, but he got better than it seemed as the spring went on.
He did. I think he, like I said in the opening, he needs to trust himself, needs to trust that sinker. So we take a look at the scouting report, 90 to 96. He'll sit right about 93, 94, curved in the slider. And as you said, Tom, career 6-7 with a 4.04 ERA.
Well, here is Schebler, who struck out the first 3 times in yesterday's game and then had the 2-run double to win it. Those are his numbers from a season ago in the big leagues. Inside, 1 ball, 1 strike. The first 2 games of the series, the Heroes late in games had similar ball games. Joey Votto in game number 1 struck out 3 times and then had the 2-run base hit that helped the Reds to the victory. Schebler struck out 3 times in yesterday's game and then had the 2-run double to win it. A little high, 3-1. sharply to short, and Galvis backs up on it a tad. Well, if you did not see it last night, this is how the game ended. Dyer Hinojosa had the bases loaded, and bam.
2-2 pitch.
Was able to get a lot of strikeouts off Schebler earlier in that game with high fastballs. That ball, another fastball, but seemingly down lower in the zone.
Schebler said after the ball game that his objective, and I guess this was the right objective, he said, I was just trying to make solid contacts. He said, my first goal was to try to tie the game. And he said, yes, it was in his head that he had struck out 3 times before.
It has to be. You're not human if it's not.
Suarez breaks his bat. That's going to happen a lot if Morton's on. And there are 2 outs.
Well, I tell you, Charlie Morton's sinker is ridiculous how much it moves. He has that little cut fastball. Look at he's set up outside. Look at the movement coming inside. He got jammed so bad the bat didn't even break in half. He just splintered it some.
And that ball actually had more lateral movement than it did a sinking motion.
Oh, he has 2 quick outs, 7 pitches. Joey Votto's the hitter. Votto 1 for 8 so far in the series. And it's no balls and 1 strike.
It'll be interesting to see where Carlos Ruiz sets up away from left-handers. If he sets up more in the middle of the plate, you can see he's crowding the left-handers. Right there is the first off-speed today, but Charlie Morton's sinker runs so much that in spring training they were sitting on the corner and the ball kept on running out of the strike zone.
It seems like so far Carlos is right in the middle of the plate. 2-1.
There were times when I had sinker ball pitchers on the mound. They would say, move more off the plate. And I said, no, because off the plate's a ball. I said, your ball's sinking a lot tonight. And I said, I'm just going to sit up down the middle. Just trust your sink. Trust your movement that you have.
Little dribbler foul, and it's even 2-2.
I was always a firm believer and facing a lot of the Kevin Brown type, the great sinkers, is as a catcher sets up down the middle, instead of firing for the glove, or I guess that's where you aim for the glove, it's going to end up at the shin guard, at his knee. I loved facing sinker ballers.
I did too.
I thought it was the easiest ball to pull and elevate.
I'd ask the 2 of you if you had been there and done that before, but I don't know if that's something you can emulate, that swing right there.
There are emergency hacks, and then there's that.
Down low, 3-2. He's a man who hit .314 last year as a lifetime 300 hitter. And although he had the game-winning hit essentially in Game 1, his swings have not looked crisp so far in this series. And a strike 3 called right on the inside part of the plate. So Morton picks up his first strikeout of the day as the Reds go down 1-2-3, and we are on to the second. Went down quiet in their half of the first. A reminder that this week only T-Mobile customers can get a free season-long subscription to MLB.TV Premium. Go to T-Mobile.com/MLB to sign up now and catch every moment on America's fastest-growing LTE network. As we start the top of the second, it'll be Andres Blanco, Cedric Hunter, and Carlos Ruiz for the Phils against right-hander Robert Stevenson. Former first-round pick for the Cincinnati Reds back in 2011 out of Alhambra High School in California, in Martinez, California. 7 games under 500 during his minor league career, but with excellent stuff. Facing Andres Blanco. Blanco fouls it away.
Good swing there.
Andres coming off a .292 season where he had 7 home runs and 25 RBIs, and his influence around the ball club was felt by not only the Latin players but really all the players in the clubhouse. 2-2.
His personality is infectious. I mean, he is always pleasant to be around.
Nice play off the carom by that guy. Hoosier fan. Andres slices it the opposite way. Duvall is going to track it down. A little Alfonso Soriano at the end, a little skip. One away. Cedric Hunter's coming up. All right, Murph, the Phil's offense is not clicking on all spring training cylinders right now, but the guy coming up right now has been robbed a couple of times of a base hit.
He has. He probably is very happy that Billy Hamilton is not out there in center field today. We'll see what he's able to do. But you're right, Tom. You know, most of the talk after these first 2 games has been about the bullpen, and certainly rightly so. You have a lead in the 8th inning, 9th inning. You want to be able to hold on to that. But that said, the offense has not been clicking as well. Pete Mackanin talked about it yesterday, saying we got to score more than 2 runs a game. They've been scoring early. You look at the first 2 innings of the first 2 games, 4 runs, 5 hits. That's in 4 innings of play. But then in the next 14 innings, how about no runs, just 6 hits, and they are 0 for 11 with runners in scoring position. So that is something that certainly needs to improve. And if they're able to score some more runs, it'll take the pressure off that bullpen. Matt, it was your key to the game, and that's really what has to happen today.
I agree. You just can't sit back. You score 2 runs easy, early.
Out towards shortstop. De Jesus flicks on the run. 2 outs. Well, in contrasting that, the Phillies are 0 for 11 with runners in scoring position. The Reds, meanwhile, have waited till the end of the game, but the Reds are 4 of 9 with runners in scoring position in the first 2 games. I'm sure Brian Price would like to have a little more of a relaxed ball game, but he'll take it.
Heck yeah, a win's a win.
There's Carlos Ruiz, and he takes inside. 1 ball, no strikes. Carlos lines it down the right field line. That's going to be in for an extra base hit. That's exactly what Cameron Rupp did last night. So Carlos is in scoring position with 2 men down, and Peter Borges will be the hitter.
Absolutely the toughest spot to hit in the National League is this in the 8 hole. But you're right, Tom. That's identical to what Cameron did last evening. Shoot one down that right field line for a pair. But Peter Borges, so early on in the ball game, Stevenson might be a little bit more aggressive with Peter Borges with the pitcher on deck and 2 outs. But it's just a tough spot as a hitter. You don't know if you're going to get pitched around or if the pitcher's going to attack you like he normally would.
It looks like he attacked him right there, and he fouls it toward the upper deck. And it's 0-1. I thought Carlos Ruiz always handled the 8 spot in the order very well. I mean, maybe he had an understanding of it because he was catching all the time, but I thought he had some of the best games we've seen as the number 8 hitter.
You just have to realize the situation.
Borges pulls it out toward third, and it's caught by Suarez, and the side is retired. So the Phils have 2 base runners so far, including Ruiz in scoring position through the first 2 innings. But we go to the bottom of the second, still in a scoreless game. Mets will head home for the first time. The home opener, which is brought to you by Nemours, will be this Monday at 3:05 against the San Diego Padres. All fans coming to the ballpark will receive the Phillies commemorative opening day cap. Tickets can be purchased by going to Phillies.com. Padres have been in a little bit of an offensive funk the first 3 games of the year. Now, Phillies.
Didn't the pitcher have more RBIs than they did last night?
They haven't had a run in 3 games. So yes, he did.
He hit 1 or 2 home runs last night. The Japanese pitcher.
I think just one.
Just one.
But they've gone 27 consecutive innings without scoring a run to start the season.
And you said a bit of a funk?
A little bit. Outscored 25-zip in the first 3 games. And if you're wondering what the record is for most scoreless innings for an offense to start a season, that is the record. It passed the St. Louis Browns, who used to have the record.
There you go. Congratulations. Another record.
Their manager, Andy Green, said, well, we still have 159 games left. We're going to score runs. I don't know if the Dodgers pitching is that good or the offense is just off to a slow start. And there's the second strikeout for Morton as he gets Duvall. 2 away. That little guy is it's a combination of excitement and freezing. Excitement that he's got a hot dog, and putting his hands over his ears because he's freezing. Where's Jim Salisbury when you need him? No balls and 1 strike to Jay Bruce. Maikel Franco is going to switch spots with Freddie Galvis. Out to left center field, and Hunter is called off by Odubel Herrera. 2 outs. Nice start for Charlie Morton. 5 up, 5 down.
It is a good start. First 2 hitters, ground balls, back-to-back Ks. And even though that ball was elevated, which you do not want a sinker baller to have elevations, it was a weak fly ball because the late movement, you think you're going to absolutely barrel it. Next thing you know, it just goes about 1 inch or 2 off the end, and it's a weak fly ball.
Jordan Pacheco takes strike one, 95, which is where he topped off pretty much in spring training.
I'm liking the effort level out of Charlie Morton right now. He's just not, he's not really exerting himself. The ball's coming out of his hand very freely.
Over to shortstop. Freddie Galvis lost something out of his back pocket as he was making that play, but was still able to make it cleanly. So 6 up, 6 down for Morton. We've completed our first 2 here in Cincinnati. On to the 3rd, and Charlie will lead it off. Log on to Phillies.com. Go to the fan section for all the information. Please submit your answer on the subject line. All right, guys, the question is, who were the 2 players that finished ahead of Joey Votto in the 2015 National League MVP voting? Answer will be revealed in just a little bit.
2015?
That would be last year.
Last year.
Yep. Time flies, Matt.
Wait, I didn't hear that. Say that question again. Who were the 2 National League?
Who were the 2 players who finished ahead of Joey Votto in the National League
Sorry,
MVP
I was thinking
voting?
about Peter Borges' hand and his hitting right there. I kind of spaced out a little bit.
I'll just let you know, Peter Borges was not one of the 2.
Okay.
Charlie Morton will lead it off for the Phils, and he takes a strike. It's 0-1.
Oof.
You got it now?
Yep. Thank you.
You're welcome. Charlie hit .028 last year with the Pirates, a lifetime .072 hitter, and DeJesus stutter steps, throws, and Charlie Morton has the Phils' 2nd hit of the afternoon.
Simple game.
Now will he get the jacket? That's the question.
I thought you were going to
Here it
say. I
comes.
thought you were going to say. Now will he get the green light?
He's not getting the green light, but although he did just get an infield knock.
And here comes the jacket.
No, jacket's not working. He decided not to wear it. All right, so far, Tucker Barnhart is having Stevenson ride his fastball. 23 fastballs and 7 changeups, just 1 curveball so far. Way outside, that's 24 fastballs.
Which is surprising because the scattering report on Stevenson is that he has a very good 12-6 curveball. I don't know, maybe if it's a little cool outside, he can't get the grip of it.
I don't think he's really had to use it.
Good point.
Some of the swings the Phillies have not been pretty. I'm not going to show it in offense anything I don't have to.
Freddie hooks it down the right field line. It is foul. He was trying to put a little English on it as he was going up the first base line.
Quick bat there by Freddie.
Yes.
Very quick.
Grounded out to second base his first time up. Charlie's still having trouble with the jacket. I don't know if he's indecisive or there's an issue with it. Galvis takes that breaking ball. It's 2-1.
Two things you cannot do with batting gloves on. One is put on a jacket, and two is tie your shoelaces. It is impossible.
I don't know if that's the issue, though.
I think he had his gloves on before. He couldn't get it on, and
poor Mickey. Mickey's got to hold that jacket for the rest of the inning. Better not hand him anything else. He's not going to be able to handle it.
It is kind of odd, though.
That one is slapped into left center field. It'll drop for a base hit. So Morton goes to second. The Phils have runners on first and second with nobody out.
There was an off-speed pitch, but it was elevated.
All next week, see what's been missing from your mornings. Wake up with the only live Philly sports morning show. Check out Breakfast on Broad next week, right here on Comcast Sportsnet. Folks on Breakfast on Broad celebrating their first anniversary this week. Congratulations to them. Runners on first and second. Here's Odubel Herrera. Odubel fly to center his first time up. In the dirt, blocked by Barnhart. He's bunting for a hit there, isn't he? He's not bunting to move the runners up.
Well, right there, that's a sacrifice bunt right there. The only problem is that you got Charlie Morton at second base, and no disrespect, but he doesn't have a very big lead. He doesn't have that extra gear to kick it into. So, me personally, I would like to see him swing the bat here.
Yeah, that's about as short as the lead you could possibly get off second base.
And it's backwards.
He is out toward the outfield. 1 ball and 1 strike. A fastball looked like it was tailing out of the zone.
And Odubel hasn't had his timing down. He hasn't had a lot of good swings, which is kind of surprising because he's seen a steady diet of a lot of fastballs. And he's a very good fastball hitter, but his timing is off. You can tell his balance is off. He's not picking up the strike zone early enough.
Case in point, that was an off-speed pitch, but
yeah, and Ben, you know, we sometimes as a hitter you get in there and instead of trusting your eyes and trusting your hands, you're reacting right away as soon as the ball's being thrown. He's thinking that's a fastball right away. He's thinking it's a strike inside, and he's just expanding the strike zone because he's not trusting his hands right now. It's a bad feeling to have.
1 ball and 2 strikes to Herrera. He's late on that and fouled it back. Just got a piece of it. Phil's trying to strike first here at the top of the 3rd. They get the first 2 batters aboard.
Now people might ask, how do you get out of it? It's just a matter of getting more at bats. It'll take 1 good swing, which will probably be a foul ball straight back, or a foul ball down past Mickey at first base, and all of a sudden now you say, okay, there the hands are.
Some guys will widen their stance a little bit.
That's what I did.
Feet.
So that's actually a pretty good pitch to hit right there. And if Odubel's swinging the bat really well, probably looking at a 3-0 ball game.
I think he realizes that too. I think he's just by the stroll out of the batter's box. He's a little disappointed with his hack on that.
But that's one thing. Now Freddie just tied his shoe at first base with his batting gloves on. But that's one thing, though, is that you have to stay with it. You know, you don't show the emotions. Don't walk around and shake your head and, you know, and slap your head. Get back in the batter's box and keep on battling. That's what you have to do until you get locked in. Good.
You're right. You have to just do that. I know it's easier said than done, but hitting is hard enough. Hitting is just the hardest thing to do in the world. And when the pitcher makes a mistake and you don't capitalize on it, it's frustrating. especially when you're not going good, like Odubel is right now.
But you ever notice, Ben, though, when you're not going well, you get a lot of good pitches to hit?
Yeah, seemed like I always got the pitches to hit. I just never hit them.
When you're going good or bad?
And it just doesn't even out.
No. They say it does.
The pitchers say it does, but it doesn't.
2-2 to Odubel Herrera.
But this is how you get back your timing. You see a lot of pitches, you foul them off.
Fouls another one off the hands.
You could say one thing, it's a very animated at bat.
Yeah, this is an 8-pitch at bat so far.
Bad bat. How many times I have to tell you?
That was a great shot, by the way, of seeing how deep the ball was, which is what you want when you're struggling. You need to get it back and let it get deep.
Swing and a miss. Odubel had the long at bat, 9 pitches, but strikes out. That's the first strikeout for Stevenson, so they'll toss the baseball away. Well, not too much to this one. This is just a fastball.
He threw him the Bayou ball.
That's actually a very good pitch to hit right there. But again, you throw that, say, tomorrow, and you might crush it to right field. The jacket has left the field.
Yeah, Mickey was tired of holding it. They actually looked at Charlie Morton at one point and said, "Do you want it?" And he went, "No." So now Maikel Franco walked in his first at bat. Inside, 1-0. Phil's still looking for their first hit with a runner in scoring position. 0 for 13 now with that strikeout. Got him backing off that breaking pitch.
That was pretty filthy. Pretty filthy.
Now it'll be interesting to see 2-0 if he's going to groove him a fastball or make him back with the changeup.
I think you'd have to challenge him here.
He did. Threw him a 91-mile-an-hour fastball in the inner half, and it's 2-1.
But if you notice the velocity, 94, 95 early in the game, already at 91. That's the difference between him and Charlie right now. This guy's max effort.
Popped him up into foul territory. Suarez will make the catch. There are 2 outs. And Ryan Howard, it'll be left to him with runners on first and second.
The jacket is back.
Charlie Morton does have the jacket back. It must have been the wrong jacket before.
All right, we're good now. Now that there's 2 outs, he finally gets the jacket.
Needs a little ironing, too.
Just pulled it out of his billfold.
So Howard flied out to left his only time up. And Howard lines that one into right center field, a base hit. Morton will go to third, and it's bobbled by Bruce. So now Morton's coming home. The throw goes towards second, and the Phils will take the lead 1-0. Well, it's the first hit with a runner in scoring position. It will not be an RBI for Howard. It's a single E9 to allow the runners to move up an extra base. Morton and Freddie Galvis.
I know pitchers are not accustomed to being out on the base paths, but you as a baseball player your whole life, you have to realize, hey, I got to get a bit more of a lead, because that ball was deep enough to score anybody.
Absolutely.
And for Sammy to have to hold him there, you know, you got to scoring runs right now is tough right now for the Phillies. So you have to make sure you do the little things to make sure you get your butt across home plate.
Andres Blanco is now up with runners on first and third. Blanco takes on the outside corner, 0-1. Off the end of the bat to center field, and Schebler will settle under it, and the side is retired. The Phils, however, do get an unearned run thanks to the error by Jay Bruce. They leave 2. We'll head to the bottom of the third. It's the Phillies 1 and the Reds nothing. To you by Jefferson. Call 1-800-JEFF now or visit jefferson.edu. By your Delaware Valley Honda dealers. Hurry to your local Del Val Honda dealer or visit delvalhondadealers.com. And by the Pennsylvania Lottery. Play Escape to Margaritaville, the new instant game from the Pennsylvania Lottery. Players must be 18 or older to play. 1-0 Phillies. We go to the bottom of the third. Charlie Morton scored the run for the Phils. He's all ready to go. He'll face the bottom third of Ivan De Jesus, Tucker Barnhart, and Robert Stevenson. De Jesus was not scheduled to play last night, but was put in the lineup when Brandon Phillips had a stomach issue. Phillips is available to pinch hit today, but Brian Price decided not to start him this afternoon. 0-2. So far 14 fastball sinkers for Charlie Morton and 4 curveballs. Broken bat, one hopper, flagged down by Freddie Galvis. Gets his bearings, fires a strike to first, 1 away.
Useful.
Fine play by Freddie just to stay with it. He's had a couple in this series.
Well, it's an area where Freddie Galvis wanted to improve on. So far early in the season, we're seeing a lot of nice plays. Very good hands, strong throw.
And he got to his feet very quickly. Just have that presence just to be able to get up and fire, know exactly where first base is.
Barnhart takes a fastball and it's 0-1. Barnhart last year hit .252 with 3 homers and 18 runs batted in. Has not played at all in this series. Fouls it away. It's 0-2. He is from just outside Indianapolis, so the Reds played an exhibition game against the Indians this past Saturday in Indianapolis. He got a chance to play in front of about 35, 40 friends and family. He wasn't scheduled to start, but then Devin Mesoraco didn't start, so they put him in. And he had a big day. If anybody has ever seen that ballpark in Indianapolis, it's right in downtown. It's gorgeous.
It is nice.
Did you see the old ballpark?
I did see the old one. That was not gorgeous.
No, it was not.
1-2 pitch to Barnhart. Up high, 2-2.
Had the big teepee in center field.
That was outside of town. I mean, this one is really, it's right downtown. It's right near where the old RCA Dome used to be. And just up the block from Lucas Oil Stadium.
Was Razor Shine still playing there?
Well, since we saw him coaching for the Mets a few years ago, I would say no. Was he in Indianapolis a long time?
Yeah, like 16 years or something. He was there a long time.
That's a long time to hang on in the minor leagues. Outside, 3-2. Oh boy, that was awfully close. That's the first base runner of the afternoon for the Reds. That's a pretty good two-strike pitch, particularly after he fouled off a few.
It's a catcher.
Think he had a nose for the ball, or is just that lucky?
Well, I think that's a very good pitch, but Brian Knight taking care of his backstop back there, apparently.
Well, here's Robert Stevenson. Franco is creeping in on the grass at third. 0-1. Stevenson had one hit last year in the minor leagues. He was 1 for 22. He jabbed at it. He'll appeal. No offering, according to the first base umpire, Todd Tishner. My eyes, they must be deceiving me, gentlemen. It looked like he jabbed at it. I think Larry Boa agrees with me in the dugout.
Yeah, I agree. And I stand corrected. Razor Shines was in Indianapolis for 9 years.
That's still a long time, man.
It's forever.
1 ball and 2 strikes. That time he did jab up the breaking ball, so that's the third strikeout for Morton. And 2 gone here in the third. Phillies will celebrate the Phanatic's birthday on Sunday, April 17th, when the Washington Nationals are in town to wrap up a 3-game series. It's brought to you by Citizens Bank. And all kids 14 and under will receive the Phanatic Flare Hair Visor. Tickets can be purchased for each of the first 7 games of the season by going to Phillies.com, including that 3-game series against the Nationals. 2 outs, top of the order. Scott Schebler grounded out to short his first time up. And those are the kind of hacks he had in the first 3 at-bats in yesterday's ball game.
He is not afraid to cut it loose.
Oh, and 2. He is not a catcher, so he did not get that pitch like Tucker Barnhart did earlier in the inning. toward left field. Hunter going back on it. It's over his head and off the base of the wall. Barnhart's to third. He's being waved home. The throw to the plate by Galvis is offline. Ruiz dives, and he's safe at home plate. It'll be an RBI for Schebler, and we're tied up at 1. And that was all about the slide by Barnhart. Somehow he avoided the tag by Carlos Ruiz. Now Pete Buchanan's up on the second step. Boy, I thought he was out at one point.
Yeah, it almost looked like his arm went over Chuch's tag.
The Phillies did everything right, with maybe the exception of Hunter's throw.
Now throw up the line just a hair.
Same thing there.
But it looks like
You're right. He looked like he may have just avoided the tag.
Yeah.
It's an excellent slide by Tucker Barnhart.
Yeah, he looked safe. Yep. Phillies are not going to challenge it.
I don't know how he did that.
I don't either.
Catchers, they're athletes.
That's right.
All right, so Schebler has his third RBI in last 2 games. Suarez the batter. That's the first hit of the afternoon for the Reds.
All 3 of Schebler's hits have been doubles.
No balls and 1 strike to Eugenio Suarez. Grounded out to shortstop his only time up. Broke his bat. Broke another bat. Side is retired. 1 run does score. Well, this is a heck of a slide by Tucker Barnhart. He was able to avoid the tag somehow of Carlos Ruiz. Boy, that's a good call by the home plate umpire. We're tied at 1. Play of the game. Well,
you just saw it. Tucker Barnhart somehow able to avoid Chuch's tag here at home plate. The throw a bit on the first base side of home plate. Chuch sprawled out, but unable to tag Tucker Barnhart out. Good call by Brian Knight. And that is your GMC Precision Play of
the first base line to grab that throw. And because of the angle he was at, he had to rush his dive into the baseline. I don't think there was anything wrong with what he did. I think that was all about Barnhart. So Cedric Hunter, who grounded out to short his first time up. Shortstop Ivan DeJesus is basically in that same spot. He shows bunt, takes low, 1 ball, no strikes. It'll be Hunter, Ruiz, and Peter Borges here in the top of the 4th.
Good hitters count, 2-0. After a pitcher throws a changeup out of the zone. Get on this fastball. But other direction.
In the air to right field. Going back on it is Bruce. Back toward the wall. It is gone. A home run for Cedric Hunter. His first big league home run. And he gives the Phils a 2-1 lead.
What a feeling.
What a noise.
Well, here we go. You know, he didn't get the baseball his first time when he got a base hit. The baseball has just gotten thrown back onto the playing field. So hopefully the young man who just retrieved it will keep it. Mickey Morandini's calling for it. And they will get the baseball this time. Major league hit number 2 is a home run for Cedric Hunter.
I'm surprised that ball is still rolling. It's got to have a flat side on it. It was hit so hard.
Well, it also makes a winner out of Sally Kapler of Gibbsboro. She just won $100 thanks to the McDonald's home run jackpot and Cedric Hunter.
Way to go, Sally.
Way to go, Cedric.
Cedric, way to go.
Quickly, it's 0-2 to Carlos Ruiz. Carlos doubled his first time up. Lays off a breaking ball. But that was a nice swing, too, by Cedric. You know, you hope that gets him where he was in spring training. We mentioned he's been robbed a couple of times in this series so far. Down the right field line. And out of play.
I actually said that to Cedric today. I said, if you hit a ball out to center field, I said, you want me to take Billy Hamilton out?
Very nice swing, though.
Talk about
Fastball down, yeah, extension. Yeah. Look at the location. That hot zone for left-handed hitters.
Estimated distance on that home run, 398 feet. The 1-2 pitch. Chopped foul.
Estimated distance really far. What a feeling.
It's got to be a great feeling, particularly for him. It's been over 400 games in between his major league hits. I told you the story the other day that the Padres said they had retrieved the ball as Ruiz slams one out toward left field. Going back on it is Duvall toward the wall when he makes the catch. Padres had said that they had retrieved the ball, but Cedric said, yeah, I never got it. You know, they're going to mark it up like they normally do. In this day and age, they will get it authenticated, whereas back then they probably didn't.
It's a shame, regardless, that he doesn't have it, but he's got his first homer.
I was going to say, that's a nice substitute. Peter Bourjos is 0 for 1. He lined out in his first at-bat. One ball and no strikes.
Do you have your first baseball, Ben?
I do. It's in my parents' cellar. I would assume you have yours.
No, I don't.
You're kidding.
No.
It's a sin.
No idea where it is.
It's in the Canadian Baseball Hall of Fame.
No chance.
New Brunswick Hall of Fame.
Like you never got it, or you don't know where you
I
put
got
it.
it. Yeah, it's been so long I can't remember.
To the right side, and Votto has it. 3 unassisted, 2 away. Charlie Morton's coming up.
Yeah, looking back at that replay, I mean, that ball couldn't have been more than a foot off the ground.
On Cedric's home run.
But the, you know, that extension that we talked about, up and through the ball. That's why the ball carried like it did.
Charlie Morton reached on an infield hit his first time up and scored the first run for the Phils. Inside, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike.
It's kind of refreshing. We got on the bus today to come over to the yard, and Charlie was in the back and talking and saying hello. Pitchers are sometimes a little different on game day, but he acted like it was just another, just another day.
Just another day. That one's out towards straightaway center field. Schebler moves about 5 steps back to make the catch. Side is retired, but the Phils retake the lead. Cedric Hunter goes down and blasts this 400-foot home run, his first major league home run. First hit of the year. It's 2-1 Phils as we go to the bottom of the 4th. LaserJet printers deliver unmatched quality, and their Jet Intelligent toner cartridges print up to 1/3 more pages. Get yours from who? But WB Mason today and experience the difference. Nobody beats WB on HP. Phillies lead it 2-1. Looks like the sun has popped out as we go to the bottom of the 4th inning. Doesn't matter what the temperatures are, what time of the year it is. Everybody enjoys a little cotton candy.
My kids love that stuff.
And you don't like it?
I don't.
No.
It's poorly textured candy.
Ben, don't be critical of cotton candy.
I always like to watch what I put in my body.
Oh, yeah. Here's Joey Votto. He'll take a strike. It's 0-1. Matt, we are not buying that, are we? We are not buying.
Absolutely not.
We are not buying what he's selling.
No.
0-2. Votto struck out looking his first time up. And he slaps that one back toward the middle. A flag down by Galvis, and he's going to have an infield hit. He has had the weirdest at-bats in this series.
He didn't move his feet the entire at bat. He got in the box, took a couple pitches, never moved, and then did that.
Well, here's that.
Like it's that's
a knockdown wedge.
That's a swing that he took on deck circle the whole time. Never finished the swing once. It's almost like he didn't want to hurt the baseball. But we always talk about you got to battle if you don't feel well at home plate. Well,
there's a base hit to left field for Adam Duvall. And the Reds now have 2 on with nobody out here in the 4th inning. Phillies baseball is brought to you by McDonald's. Come into McDonald's for an Egg McMuffin and medium iced coffee for $3.49. By Chevrolet. Visit your local dealer at ChevyDealer.com. And by Yellowwood, brand pressure treated pine. If it doesn't have this yellow tag, you don't want it. Along with Matt Stairs, Ben Davis, Greg Murphy, I'm Tom McCarthy, live from Cincinnati, where the Phillies lead it 2-1, but the Reds have the first two runners on here in the fourth. And Jay Bruce, a foul tip on the first pitch. It's 0-1. Bruce flied out to center his first time up. Jay Bruce, who back in February thought he was heading to the Toronto Blue Jays in a potential trade, a three-way deal. And then somebody filed their physical, or at least the medical records were not approved by one of the teams. And some folks think it's Jay Bruce whose medical records were turned down. He spent about 15 hours thinking he was on his way to the Blue Jays. The Reds, they weren't really concerned about who they were getting back. They just wanted to get rid of his salary. But I wonder how that makes a player feel.
Right.
But I guess at some point he's going to be dealt if he shows he's healthy and can hit.
Yeah, nothing personal, but you're just too expensive for us.
2 balls and 1 strike. Outside 3-1. How do you compartmentalize that, though, as a ball player? I mean, is it that big of a deal when a team potentially has you traded and then the trade is called off?
I wouldn't think so. It's a business. You know, if you're in a rebuilding stage, or I'd like to call it a re-strengthening stage, it's going to happen.
In the air to right field. Well, he looks pretty healthy on that swing. Borges going back, and it is long gone. 3-run home run for Jay Bruce. And the Reds take the lead. It's 4-2 ball game. Six home runs a season ago. That's his first of 2016.
And no doubt about that one. A sweet swing there by Jay Bruce. He knew it. Charlie knew it.
That sinker that just didn't sink, it stayed in the middle of the plate.
Yeah, it's a helpless feeling if you're a pitcher.
Pacheco takes inside. It's 1-0, and now Carlos out to the mound. All right, now you say that, and you were a catcher during your time in the big leagues, but I don't know if folks realize this or not, but you did pitch.
I did.
At the end of your career, so you know what that feeling is like. I don't know how many home runs you gave up in the minors or in independent ball, but I'm sure it did happen.
Yeah, and it's, you know, it's frustrating because, you know, you didn't hit your spot, or you hung a pitch or whatever, but I mean, that mound is an island, and it just seems like everything's focused on you, but you have to get back in there and go back after it.
Peter Borges using his speed to track that one down. 1 away here in the fourth.
Did you give up a home run?
Absolutely.
Any ones you remember, like, oh my Lord?
No. Oh, that was a good one there by Jay Bruce.
I think the other part of it too is that you know, aside from the walk to Tucker Barnhart, he has been hitting his spots the entire day. So you go 3 innings where you allow a run, and then you give up a 3-run bomb. You're only down by 2, but I guess sometimes in your mind it negates what you did those first 3 innings. Works ahead of Ivan DeJesus, and it's no balls and 1 strike.
And that's what's the good thing and the bad thing about this beautiful game of baseball that we play. I mean, literally your performance can be defined with 1 pitch, no matter what you did prior to or after. But there's still a lot of ball game left in this.
Oh, yeah.
Charlie Morton's throwing the ball well. He's only got 55 pitches thus far.
In the dirt, and it's even now. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Followed his changeup up with his splitter. Thinking maybe get DeJesus to go fishing.
the only thing about giving up a home run to Jay Bruce is getting off the fastball, not throwing enough fastballs anymore. It's been a great pitch the whole game. He made a mistake. Joey Votto's was an off-speed pitch. Duvall's base at the left field was on a fastball. You got to a 3-1 count, you threw him a cookie, and he hit out of the ballpark. Keep throwing your sinker.
Yeah, because it has been good, aside from what you just pointed out. Another one chopped over to the third base camera well. Three balls, two strikes. And ball four. So he loses to Jesus. It's the second walk issued by Morton. And now Barnhart's coming up. Barnhart walked his first time up. Pete saw him come around to score.
Time for double play.
Runner goes, pitches inside, throw to second by Ruiz on one hop, and he is safe at second base. Tough pitch for Carlos to handle. And DeJesus, who did not steal a bag last year, steals his first bag of 2016.
Good attempt to swing. I think he swung at that ball.
He may have. Yeah, he did.
They got the appeal.
And he did say he swung.
Definitely a hit and run. But what a jump DeJesus had. I mean, he was off to the races as soon as Charlie Morton lifted his left leg. Give Barnhart credit for even trying to get a bat on that ball. Watch this jump. I mean, he's gone.
Could have had him too at second, even though it was a tough throw to handle, tough pitch to handle for Carlos.
Very tough, especially you have a lefty up, you have a pitch down and into a lefty.
Opposite way, a base hit it to left field. Hunter gets to it quickly. Hatcher holds DeJesus at third. Cedric's got to throw that ball a little bit more. Fortunately, the runner from first did not advance, but that puts runners on first and third with Stevenson coming up.
And Tom, that's a great point. You know, they teach in spring training, of course, this year the fundamentals of baseball and throwing the baseball to your cutoff man and do not hit your cutoff man. The worst thing an outfielder can do is when he gets that ball out there is to worry about missing the cutoff man. You saw what happened was a bad throw off Franco's glove, and good thing no one advanced.
As an outfielder, you want to come up and throw it right through the cutoff man. Don't throw it to him, throw it through him.
They always say you aim for his hat. Whoever's cutting the ball, aim for his hat.
Now Bob McClure walking out to the mound to talk to Charlie Morton. This has been a rougher inning than Morton would have liked. He allowed the 3-run home run. And then after getting Pacheco to fly out to short right, he walked to Jesus. Barnhart reaches on the single. And now Robert Stevenson is up there. He's talking to Billy Hatcher up the third base line. And there's Daniel Stump starting to loosen up. He's warmed up the last couple of days, hasn't gotten in.
You can see he does a nice job hitting the ball to left field. And right when he catches the ball, he takes a peek. He sees the runner being held and just tosses it in. Fire that thing in there. Because the worst case scenario is if you miss the cutoff man, you're still throwing a strike to home plate. But you just can't get up there and lollipop that ball into the cutoff man.
I'm surprised that Barnhart didn't go to second on it.
Well, I'd be surprised if he was watching.
I was going to say he might have had his back turned. So Stevenson, who tried to bunt his first time up, squares again here and takes outside. They appeal as to whether he offered or not. They say no. 1 ball and no strikes.
Obviously have to watch De Jesus at third base, but here you have 1 out, pitcher up, make sure you get an out. Nothing fancy, just get an out.
Swing it away, taps it foul. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Now this is a situation, 1st and 3rd, 1 out. Safety squeeze might come up. Ryan has to think about one, maybe going for the double play. If the ball's hit hard enough, instead of coming home to get De Jesus at home plate, go ahead and do the 1-6-3 double play.
Because the pitcher's running?
Exactly. Depending how hard he bunts his ball to first base.
He squares again. He bunts it back toward the mound. Morton's got it. Nobody's covering first. Now Andres Blanco is there. So the sacrifice allows the runner to go up to second base. And 1-4 on the putout. So Stevenson will be credited with a sacrifice, and now runners on second and third for Schebler, who drove in a run his last time up. Pete Maccannon's coming out. That's going to be it for Charlie Morton.
Does a nice job coming off and fielding the bunt. I like to see a quick peek, not really seeing the runner come down. Why do you have to freeze a little bit at second base to make sure there's no slug bunt?
Well, Morton's afternoon is done. He gives the baseball to Pete Mackanin, and Daniel Stumpf is coming in to make his major league debut. We'll be back right after this. And the Reds are threatening again. They have runners on second and third with 2 men down, and Pete Maccannon's decided to bring in the rookie left-hander Daniel Stumpf to replace Charlie Morton. Daniel Murph has been pretty amped up the last couple of days about his potential to make his major league debut.
Yes, and he's going to get that opportunity right now. And talking to him before the game, he said, you know, the nerves don't really start until the phone rings down in the bullpen. And as you mentioned, Tom, he's been up a couple of times in this series. This is his first game action, so I'm sure he's got a couple of butterflies. He's got a fastball, a slider, and a changeup. He said during spring training, he considers his changeup his weakest pitch. But he said during spring training it was very good for him, so he's going to hope to feature that as well up here at the big leagues. But it'll be interesting to see how he handles the emotion, guys.
All right, so Pete brings him on because the lefty Schebler is up. Schebler doubled home run his last time up. So the first pitch of Stumpf's major league career is a breaking ball, swung on and missed, and it's 0-1. Daniel Stumpf was out of the Kansas City Royals organization, one of 2 Rule 5 selections by the Phillies, the other Tyler Goodell. Last year in 42 games, he had an ERA of 3.57. 0-2. He pitched in Double-A last season for the Royals. He pitched in the area in Wilmington with the Blue Rocks back in 2014. He's trying to get Schebler here and keep this at a 2-run game. Now the 0-2 pitch. Way upstairs, 1-2.
Nice play by Chooch.
Yeah.
Thinking he's going to get a fastball low and away. Not so much.
Back-to-back fastballs, a little amped up in the zone. Yesterday, Daniel Stumpf signed some autographs. It's got to be an unbelievable feeling to be up in the big leagues for the first time. Trying to get the out here. And a breaking ball just missed. It's 3-2.
Honestly, Tom, and you know, everyone wants to be a big leaguer. Good slider here by Daniel. Everyone wants to be a big leaguer, but I can honestly say it's the greatest feeling. Next to having kids, nothing beats it.
Check swing. Did he go? No. And it's ball 4, so that'll load up the bases. And now here's Suarez. I don't know how they didn't call ball 3 a strike. So Suarez with the bases loaded. Swing and a miss, 0-1.
This has been a long half inning.
And a line drive down the left field line, foul.
That was the changeup we talked about.
Easier said than done, but I'd love to see a fastball up and in, or even belt high off the plate, and then followed up with a back foot slider. That'd be a nice plan of attack here.
He's ahead, no balls and 2 strikes. Inside, 1-2. His fastball command, well, there hasn't been a whole lot of command on his fastball.
Well, he's commanding the top of the zone. That's for sure. The 3 pitches, the 3 fastball he's thrown, all 3 has been well out of the strike zone. And like Ben mentioned earlier, when you're geared up and you're making your debut and you're amped up, that's where your fastball ends up being, because you're overthrowing. That's why you've seen Carlos call a lot of sliders.
2 balls, 2 strikes to Suarez, 9th man to bat in this inning with the bases loaded. Check swing, ball in the dirt, and now 3-2. They appeal, no swing, says Todd Tishner. So the carousel will begin with this pitch. DeJesus at third, Barnhart at second, and Schebler at first. Joey Votto, who started this rally with an infield hit, is in the on-deck circle.
That's why I like to see that 2-2 pitch. I would always remind my pitchers, make it happen here on this 2-2 pitch. Because now your back's up against the wall. There's always that little wiggle room with 2-2, but not the 3-2.
3 balls, 2 strikes. In the air to left field. Going back on it is Cedric Hunter on the dead run back to the wall, and it is gone. A grand slam for Eugenio Suarez. And the Reds have busted it open, and they lead it 8-2. Second home run of the series for Suarez. Second home run of the inning for the Reds. A 3-run shot, now a grand slam. Boy, if ever there's a backbreaker in a ball game, the Reds have had 2 in this inning.
Yeah, fastball up in the zone. Had to throw him a strike, and he did not miss it.
So Joey Votto's the batter. And Votto takes a fastball up. It's 1-0.
That's why I talk about that. Make it happen here, 2-2. You get your back up against the ball. Everyone in the world knows what you're going to get.
Two balls and no strikes. Inside, 3-0. Well, Suarez homered in game 1. I should say in game 2. After hitting 13 home runs last year, he has 2 this season. 3 balls and no strikes to Votto. And ball 4, so Votto walks. The 11th man to bat in this inning is Adam Duvall, and Pete Maccannon's going to go back to the bullpen. So Daniel Stump's major league debut will come to a close. Brett Oberholzer, who's the Phillies' long man, is going to be the next one up out of the pen. So with 2 outs and a runner at first, another pitching change. Phillies trail at 8-2, a 7-run inning for the Reds. Robinson Day around Major League Baseball, and the Phils will help salute the legend. Phillies salute includes special videos, including highlights from Ken Burns' Jackie Robinson documentary. All field personnel will wear the number 42. Tickets can be purchased by going to Phillies.com. It's always a great day around Major League Baseball. I think a lot of folks are looking forward to Ken Burns' documentary. After the movie 42 came out, I think a lot of people, particularly of this new generation, was looking for more stories on Jackie Robinson. Ken Burns' documentary, his stuff is always exceptional. Should shed some additional light on the life of Jackie Robinson. Here's Brett Oberholzer making his Phillies debut. And he delivers high. It's 1-0. He had a good spring. Phillies acquired him from the Astros in the Ken Giles trade. And he's basically going to be the Phil's long man And they're going to need him today. Down 8-2. Oberholzer first made his major league debut back in 2013 with the Astros. He had good numbers swinging between the bullpen and the starting staff. Out front is Duvall. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Brett being called on here to really eat up some innings here, being the long relief guy out of the pen.
And get the last out here in the 4th. The Phillies back into the dugout. This has been, as you mentioned before, been a long inning. 7 runs have scored. This is the 11th man to bat in the inning. 5 hits, 2 walks, 2 homers, a 3-run shot and a grand slam. 2 balls and 1 strike. That one's popped foul. It's 2-2.
It's just the pace of this inning, you know, with the walks and the pace just it's really stopped.
Runner will be off from first with the count 3-2. Oberholzer went into spring training with the thought that he'd have a chance to be the 5th starter for the Phillies. It did seem after the first couple weeks that it was going to come down to Adam Morgan and Vince Velasquez. They wound up going to Velasquez, and Morgan pitched very well. But Oberholzer, about midway through spring training, was moved to the bullpen. Runner goes, pitches low, ball 4. So 4 walks now in the inning. And Jay Bruce, who had the 3-run home run that gave the Reds the lead in this inning, will bat for a 2nd time.
His 3-run shot earlier in the 4th inning seemed like about 30 minutes ago.
It did.
I bet you it was.
Bruce is 1 for 2. Down low and away. 1 ball, no strikes. The ball squirts out of the glove of Carlos. Well, here you go.
Fastball, center cut. As we said, that was a no-doubter.
Tapped foul toward the Reds dugout, and it's even 1-1. First 3 innings did have a crisp pace. The pitchers were working ahead of the hitters. They were controlling the strike zone. That's changed here in the bottom of the 4th inning. An inning that's still alive. The Reds have scored 7 runs.
Oberholzer is going to have to pitch quite a bit today. You figure that you might want to use Hinojosa to try to get an inning out of him, but Hernandez is probably shut down. He's already thrown twice this year.
In the dirt, blocked by Carlos. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Think about all the 3-ball counts that we've had in this inning alone. Five hits, 4 walks, and Jordan Pacheco is on deck. Runners go, and the pitch is lined into center field, a base hit. Rounding third, heading for home is Votto. The ball is booted by Odubel. Rounding third and following is Duvall. Now he holds up at third base. It'll be an RBI single for Jay Bruce. 4 RBIs in the inning for him. It's now 9-2. Reds on top. I think you have to give Odubel an error to allow the runners to advance an extra base.
That ball absolutely crushed. Line drive to center field. That's about the third ball that Odubel Herrera's bobbled a little bit in the outfield. Now take it, you've been standing around for 30 minutes. No excuses, you still have to make the play. But the bottom line is pitchers need to go out and throw first pitch strikes and get your defensive players off the field.
That's a heck of an inning for Jay Bruce.
But Pacheco fouls the first one off. It's 0-1. Yeah, Jay Bruce 4 RBIs in the inning. A 3-run home run and the single. This is an 8-run 4th inning.
The dreaded snowman. Maybe this guy can be the first and third out in the same inning.
His fly ball to right field was the first out. It followed Bruce's 3-run home run. One ball, one strike. Inside. Boy, these pitches are just off the inside or outside parts of the plate. Swing and a miss, 2-2. An inning that's lasted over a half hour, nearly 35 minutes, and 8 runs have scored. The runners lead off the count. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Pacheco. In the air to right center field. Odubel looks like he's going to track it down right on the edge of the track, and the side is retired. 7 3-ball counts in the inning, 4 walks, 6 hits, and 8 runs for the Reds. 4 driven in by Jay Bruce. We'll head to the 5th inning. It's a totally different game with Cincinnati on top by 7. Premium, the #1 live streaming sports service, delivers everything you've come to expect and more. Watch every out-of-market game live in HD on over 400 supported devices. Includes a free subscription to @Bat Premium, the #1 app for live baseball. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.tv for details. We'll head to the top of the 5th inning, and Freddie Galvis will lead it off. Robert Stevenson, making his major league debut, is looking up at the board and saying, yeah, this is the way it should be every outing. His team just put an 8 spot up on the board in the 4th inning to give him a 9-2 lead. Two balls and no strikes to Galvis. It'll be Galvis, Odubel Herrera, and Maikel Franco.
Take a strike. Have to take a strike.
Stevenson's been sitting in there for 35 plus minutes.
On the outside corner, 2-2. Stevenson, during his minor league career with the Reds, was the 23rd ranked prospect, the 24th ranked prospect. Last year, before the start of the season, he was the 16th. That one is tapped over to third base. Suarez, quick release. And one out here in the 5th. After last night's tough loss in Detroit, the Flyers still control their own destiny. The Flyers look for 2 big points versus the Maple Leafs tonight. Coverage begins at 6:30 right here on Comcast Sports. What do you think there, Matt?
I think it's a must-win tonight versus the Maple Leafs. They have to, because the last 2 games they got the Penguins and the Islanders. So Penguins have been playing well. The Islanders have not been playing well.
Another epic battle with Ty Domi.
Herrera takes low. It's 1 ball and no strikes.
Did you see Freddie Galvis get down the line right there? That's one thing. And I'm not saying that the Phillies, hopefully they can come back in this ball game. There still is a lot of time left. But one thing I guarantee, folks, and I've been saying this, is that this team is going to play hard no matter what. Freddie grounds the ball out there after standing out in the field for 35 minutes, and he busted it. I mean, he busted it to first base.
So it caused Suarez to rush the throw. I mean, he had a lot on it.
Yeah, and that's one thing, you know, Pete Mackanin is not going to stand for not playing the game the right way, and that's great to see out of Freddie.
1 ball, 1 strike to Herrera. He's 0 for 2 today. Fly to center, struck out. And it's 1-2. Well, here's Freddie Galvis.
Watch Freddie. And just gets his bat on it, but it's a hard 90. That is a hard 90. Like to see it.
I thought every time I ran to first, it was a hard 90.
And what's popped up, foul territory. Suarez has room. There are 2 outs. Odubel has not liked his ABs here today. And 2 away for Maikel Franco. Well, this kid's job is to throw strikes. And in this inning, that's what he's doing. With a comfortable lead.
And I would agree with you. Herrera is not happy with those swings today because he's had about, what'd you say, Ben, 6 or 7 good pitches to hit.
He has. Deep breath.
Ball is going to be an upper deck foul ball. Just woke somebody up there.
Hit that ball sideways.
In the dirt. 2 balls and 1 strike now to Franco.
Big swing there by Michael. That's a swing we saw a little bit later in spring training. But he seemed to make the adjustments.
Stevenson overthrew that one, and it's 3 balls and 2 strikes. Ryan Howard is on deck. And ball 4. So Franco is aboard. That is the first walk issued by Stevenson this afternoon. And Ryan Howard, who is 1 for 2 and has 2 hits on the season, will be the batter. Sorry, second walk issued today by Stevenson. Franco's walked twice.
A 2-out walk when your team just went and got you 8.
Well, he shook off the catcher on the last pitch selection like 3 times. Howard takes outside, and now Barnhart's going to go out and chat with Stevenson. I mentioned that this may be his last outing and then go back to the minor leagues. His only outing before he goes back to the minor leagues. I think he's probably shown the Reds an awful lot here today, even after struggling somewhat during spring training.
Well, he's shown that he has the live fastball. Doesn't have that 101-mile-an-hour fastball anymore, but he has good movement with his 94-95.
Out towards center field. Going back on it is Schebler. Back toward the track to the wall. It is gone. A home run for Ryan Howard. It's his 12th here at Great American Ballpark. And it's now a 9-4 ball game.
Peace.
First home run of the year for Howard.
And the hitter will let you know. Boy, was that loud.
I love that finish right there. You know when he has that little finish and the little one step.
See his head down on that baseball. What a sound.
Yeah, that went to the foot of that black batter's eye out there in center field. Schebler tried to climb the fence a little bit, but he would have needed to climb the fence and then crawl up the grass to get that one.
I don't care if Michael Franco hits it into the river. You can't walk him. 2-out walks. Love to see Big Piece capitalize right there.
All right, so it's a 9-4 game. Here's Andres Blanco on that ball. Got a piece of Andres.
Left elbow.
Brian Price is coming out. He's going to talk to the home plate umpire, Brian Knight. They can review this. Oh, yeah, that got the elbow. That didn't get the bat. Ow. Yeah. They can review this. Brian Price can ask the home plate umpire to review it. He's looking into the dugout. I mean, if they're looking at it underneath, they're going to tell you that it hit the elbow.
If it would have hit the bat, you would have saw the bat bounce backwards.
Probably wouldn't have heard the ow from Andres Blanco either.
Cedric, get another one. Make it interesting.
Don't threaten me with a good time, Matty.
Okay.
Cedric with a home run his last time up. Keep this inning alive and get another one here. As Ben said, there's a lot of time left in this game. And the Reds do not have the perfect bullpen. Jumbo Diaz starting to throw in the pen. To the right side. Ground ball. And it's gobbled up by Pacheco, and the side is retired. Ryan Howard with a 2-run home run brings the Phils a few steps closer. They trail it by 5 as we go to the bottom of the 5th here in Cincinnati.
And it all gets started for the minor league guys tonight. Clearwater's going to take on Dunedin, the 2015 second-round pick. Tom Eshelman will get the ball for the Threshers. Reading also will start tonight. Alec Asher will be the starting pitcher against Portland. And the Lehigh Valley, who was supposed to start their season in Syracuse with 4 games, well, those games had to be postponed and now moved to the Lehigh Valley. They're going to play a doubleheader tomorrow at 11 a.m. in the Lehigh Valley against Syracuse. Citizens Bank, the next time you have a question about money, don't keep it to yourself. Ask a citizen. That's the minor league report, guys.
All right, Murph, we'll keep an eye on what's going on down in the minor leagues. Eshelman starting that ball game. There are some people that think that he could be one of the jewels in that Ken Giles trade. A very good college pitcher, a control pitcher. And getting a chance to make his first appearance in the Phillies organization. Here's Ivan DeJesus as we begin the 5th inning, the bottom of the 5th. Count is no balls and 2 strikes to Jesus. He's walked and scored. He's also grounded out to short, and a fine play by Freddie Galvis. Up high, it's 1-2. Out of play over the first base dugout. Oberholzer was the 3rd pitcher used in the 4th inning. He walked one guy, allowed a single, then got the final out. Way outside, 2 balls, 2 strikes. And a strike 3 called right on the inside part of the plate. Jesus doesn't agree, but that was a good pitch.
Fastball in. Brett getting the call there. Nice job of Chooch holding that ball out in front. Give me Brian Knight a good look at it.
Here's Barnhart. Barnhart has been on base twice today. Has scored a couple runs. He walked and scored in the 3rd, singled and scored in the 4th inning. Inside and low, 1 ball, 1 strike. Well, the first couple of days have not gone the way Pete Mackanin had hoped it would from a bullpen standpoint. Over to the hole, just under the glove of Freddie Galvis, a base hit for Barnhart. So 1-out single. And Stevenson will be called back, and the Reds look like they're going to set a pinch hitter up for him. So he'll be done after 5 innings. Mesoraco is going to come on to pinch hit.
That's the luxury you have carrying 3 catchers. You know, especially if one of them is gifted offensively like Devin is. 25 home runs a couple years ago. You have that luxury.
Yeah, Brian Price has not only Barnhart and Mesoraco, but Pacheco, who's playing second base today, is also a catcher. So if he needed to use another guy, that's who they would use. So Mesoraco will pitch hit with a runner at first base. And 1 gone here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Shallow left center field. Freddie Galvis says he has it, waving everybody off, makes the catch, and there are 2 outs. Back to the top of the order for Schebler.
I've always been a huge fan of having 3 catchers on your roster. Because usually when your backup catcher plays, and no disrespect to him, your number 1 guy, you're not going to see him throughout the day. You know, so there's an area where he could have come off the bench in a pitch hit situation late in the game. They don't use him because there's no backup if he comes in the game and gets hurt. So I like the 3 catchers idea.
Yeah, if there's an opportunity to ever find somebody that could be like a Pacheco that could play another position, you know, whether it be first base. Pacheco is an oddity playing second base.
Craig Biggio.
Check swing by Schebler. It's 2-0.
People forget that Craig Biggio came up as a catcher and then moved to second base.
And to center field. See, Ben, if you would have played another position, it might have extended your career behind the plate.
Who's going to run for me?
Hit home runs.
2-1. Yeah, hit home runs.
Oh, okay.
'87 pitches, by the way, for Stevenson. So his major league debut is in the books for the Reds. 6 hits and 4 runs. Two and 2. Actually, it's 3 and 2. So the board here was correct. 3 balls and 2 strikes. There's Suarez waiting on deck. Runner goes. The pitch is grounded toward first. Ryan Howard's got it, and that'll do it for the Reds here in the bottom of the 5th inning. So nice job by Oberholzer to get through this 5th. No runs, 1 hit, and 1 man left. On to the 6th inning. Phillies down by 5. Out of the Rule 5 draft and into the Phillies lineup, Odubel Herrera took the bull by the horns and swung his bat with consistency, putting himself among the major league's best rookies in average, hits, doubles, and stolen bases. He also became the first Phillies rookie to achieve 25 doubles and 14 steals since Jimmy Rollins did so 15 years ago. El Torito made a big first impression in 2015. And it's brought to you by Independence Blue Cross. Live fearless. Well, Odubel's going to try to get things going for the Phils at some point this ball game after a stellar season a year ago. Jumbo Diaz will be the new pitcher for the Reds, and he will face Carlos Ruiz, Peter Borges, and then the pitcher's spot with the Phillies down 9-4. So Robert Stevenson goes 5 innings, allows 6 hits and 4 runs, 2 walks and 1 strikeout. Jumbo Diaz an inning and a third for the Reds in Monday's ball game. Their bullpen has been very good so far in this series. We talked about the Phillies' struggles in their bullpen. Well, the Reds' bullpen, 6 innings, 2 hits, 2 walks, and 4 strikeouts. No runs allowed so far. So Diaz will face Carlos Ruiz, who is 1 for 2 this afternoon. He doubled and flied out to left field.
Jumbo Diaz, the hardest thrower out of the Reds bullpen. Top out around 97, 98.
Delivers a fastball at 95 for a strike, and it's 0-1. This is one of the issues that the Reds feel like they have is their bullpen. They feel like it's a little leaky going into the season, but they've been able to do the job so far. Last year, Jumbo Diaz 61 games with the Reds, a 4.18 ERA. 2 balls and 1 strike to Carlos.
Losing the back end like they did with Aroldis Chapman. Anytime you lose someone of his caliber, you're going to suffer the consequences. And you know, he's really an irreplaceable piece of that bullpen.
Ball 4, so Carlos is aboard. It's a nice way to start the 6th inning. Phils have a base runner. Peter Borges is coming up. A reminder that when you come to the ballpark next Wednesday, when the Phillies take on the San Diego Padres, it'll be the DraftKings 2016 Phillies schedule magnet. That'll be free to all fans. Tickets can be purchased by going to Phillies.com. By the way, Oberholzer has come out in the on-deck circle. There's a chance he is going to bat. As we mentioned, he's the long man. I guess a lot of it will depend on what Borges does here. Borges takes a strike. It's 0-1. A little bit of a slider there. Peter Borges coming into this spring. Phillies were hoping that he would replicate some of his numbers from 2011. As he fights that one off, Votto's got it, steps on first, flips to second, and Carlos is out at second base. Well, that was not a traditional double play, but it'll go down 3-6. I think Carlos's foot may have been up a little high as he slid in, and that enabled DeJesus to make the tag.
Well, that was back-to-back at bats for Peter Borges to try and hit the ball to right field. Second time in a row he hits a weak ground ball to first base. Nice play by Joey, turning him, spinning and throwing a pretty good throw, but a quick tag. Big man likes it on the mound.
So now over to Holzer on the inside corner. Brett, during his career, has 2 sacrifice bunts.
Very good field presence there by Joey Votto. Just to be able to step on the bag, turn, know exactly where second base is, and avoid the runner in throwing that ball to shortstop.
Everybody was leaving the field for the Reds. It's 1 ball and 2 strikes to Oberholzer. So 1-2 as Brett is ready to go. So is Jumbo Diaz. Look out. 2-2.
It's there at 97.
Spiked.
Intentional grounding, number 70.
Well, he's heard this before, but he certainly does look like he belongs more on a football field than a baseball field. His given name is Jose. He stands at 6'4", 284 pounds. Up high, 3-2.
That last one as a catcher, that's the ball I throw right through the pitcher, right back to him.
To send a message to him?
Yeah.
Swing and a miss. Got him with a 96-mile-an-hour heater. And the side is retired. No runs, no hits, and nobody left for the Phils. Good defensive play by Joey Votto. We'll move to the bottom of the 6th here in Cincinnati. Toyota. Toyota's hybrid fleet is nothing short of a home run. Visit your local Toyota dealer today. Buy W.B. Mason. You can't go wrong when you buy right. And buy your local Ford stores. Smokestacks here at Great American Ballpark. They have 7 bats to the left, 7 bats to the right. That is in honor of Pete Rose, who is going to go into the Cincinnati Reds Hall of Fame this year. He'll be the class of 2016. He will not go into the Major League Baseball Hall of Fame, but the Reds have always been able to put him into their Hall of Fame. They've decided to do it this year. Pete, of course, came back to baseball last year as an analyst on national television and put his bid in to try to get into the Baseball Hall of Fame this past offseason. It was denied, but he will be honored by being put into the Reds Hall of Fame, which if you come out to Cincinnati, we talked about opening day the other day, how great that was here, but the Reds Hall of Fame is a building that is adjacent to Great American Ballpark. If you ever slip in there, it has got some great stuff about the history of baseball here in Cincinnati, but all of the great players also that have come through this organization. 2 balls and 1 strike to Suarez, who's 1 for 3. Now there's a strike. It's 2-2. Here is the outside of the Reds Hall of Fame.
Did not know that was here.
Yeah, there's a strike 3 called. Suarez is down looking. Ben, if you go out to the main entrance and go to the Joe Morgan statue and then turn to the left, you'll run right into it.
Oh. Don't we walk by it every night when we walk home?
I didn't want to say it that way, Matt, but yes, we do.
I remember walking past the statues, but I don't remember seeing the museum.
There's a little glimpse inside the Reds Hall of Fame. Joey Votto over to first base. Ryan Howard's got it. 3 unassisted, 2 outs, 2 quick outs here in the 6th inning. And that'll bring Adam Duvall to the plate. Phillies down by 5. They're trying to avoid their first 3-game sweep to start the season since 2007. They lost 3 straight to the Atlanta Braves at Citizens Bank Park. And obviously that season ended with the Phils' first of 5 straight trips to the postseason. Last time they began the season with 3 straight losses on the road was in 2000. They began in Arizona.
Who, by the way, started, what, 0-3 this year at home?
Gave up a lot of runs.
Losing A.J. Pollock is going to be very detrimental to that ball club. He's definitely a guy that flies under the radar for them. He is a talented ball player. So kids at home, if you're home from school, don't slide home first into home.
Don't slide head first into home?
Head first.
0-2 pitch. And strike 3 called. So Oberholzer is able to throw a 1-2-3 6th inning. 3 strikeouts this afternoon for the Phils lefty. We go to the 7th. It's 9-4 Cincinnati. Valley Honda Dealers game summary. The summary is the long ball. Suarez, a grand slam. That followed Jay Bruce's 3-run home run. And it was all part of a big inning for the Cincinnati Reds, where they scored 8 runs, had 6 hits. They walked 4 times. Now they took a 9-2 lead. The Phillies have gotten 2 back on a home run by Ryan Howard. So it's 9-4 as we go to the top of the 7th inning. Charlie Morton lasted 3 2/3 before he was lifted. Phillies have seen Cedric Hunter hit his first major league home run, and Howard hit his 12th home run here at Great American Ballpark. But that 8 spot, that snowman in the bottom of the 4th inning, is tough to overcome right now. So as we go to the 7th, Freddie Galvis will lead it off. Steve Buchanan's going to try to figure out how to finagle his bullpen. Oberholzer can continue to pitch here. His spot won't come up in the order for quite a while since he made the last out in the 6th inning. So as we start the 7th, Cingrani, who had a 1/3 of an inning scoreless the other day, is on to face Freddie Galvis, Odubel Herrera, and Maikel Franco. Freddie hits it back to the box, flagged down by Cingrani. 1 away. Well, he hit it right on the nose. It probably would have gone through the middle if Cingrani didn't flag it down. I don't think the middle infielders would have tracked it down.
Yeah, but one thing about Cingrani, he fills his position very well. Look how he squares up. Does a nice job of throwing the glove up and snagging the one hopper. That's a wake-up call.
Get your blood flowing.
So now Odubel Herrera, who is 0 for 3. One and 0 to Odubel.
Get Odubel going right here as a line drive to the left. Line drive right over shortstop. Make him feel good about himself.
Stoppage of play. The ball was still sitting up the third base line in foul territory.
That was really a long way for Barnhart to go.
I was wondering why he didn't just go get it, pick it up, and toss it aside.
It's not his job.
3-0. I thought it was in the fine print of his responsibilities, Ben.
Those catchers.
Now, even though Herrera's taking that pitch all the way, you still would like to see him go through his stance and his approach like he was going to hit it, because it helps him follow the ball all the way into the zone.
Great point, Matt. Especially with as much stuff as he has going on.
Cingrani's got the count back to 3-2.
The pitcher tries to repeat his mechanics. As a hitter, you want to repeat yours.
Cingrani strikes him out. Second time today that Odubel has struck out. 2 outs here in the 7th. All right, guys, it's time now for our Jeep Stump the Fans trivia quiz answer. Who are the 2 players that finished ahead of Joey Votto in the 2015 National League MVP voting?
Harper.
Harper is the first one. He won it. Washington Nationals.
Goldschmidt from Arizona.
Paul Goldschmidt is number 2.
That's twice he's come second, right?
Yep. Log back on to Phillies.com to find out if you're the winner of a Phillies prize, Pat.
You know, he is becoming the Todd Helton of trivia questions.
Who's that, Paul Goldschmidt?
Yes.
He's just finding his way into the answer?
Because it's just a guy that does damage, and you don't realize how good those numbers are. Seemingly, when Todd Helton retired, he was in every trivia question. It was...
Well, Goldschmidt hit a home run the other day to right center. That was a bomb. As soon as he hit it, he knew it was gone. It was right of the batter's eye down in Arizona. Powerful swing. And I stand corrected. Arizona is 1-2, not 0-3.
That one spun out towards center field, and Schebler won't get it. It somehow went over his head and toward the base of the wall, and Franco is going to pull into second base with a 2-out double.
Well, the reason why that ball went over his head, he took the horseshoe route. He came in, went left, curled back. I'm not sure if he got fooled with the height of the ball that was thrown, but he comes in, there's the horseshoe, now he goes. It's like back when little kid, you throw your hat and your glove and you start running after it.
Ball carried pretty good, though, too.
I don't think he was expecting that 2-iron to keep carrying like it did.
Well, Ryan Howard has a couple hits today, including a home run, and he takes inside. It's 1-0.
Oh, peppered.
Well, if Ryan Howard can get one into the air here, get another run or 2 home, Phillies will be right back into the mix. Trail it by 5. Swing and a miss. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Interesting the other night that Darren Ruff came in for a pinch hit when they brought a left-hander in. wonder if it changed because Ryan Howard hit a home run versus the right-hander.
It might have. It kind of answers some of the questions that you brought up the other day. If Pete would just make the switch all the time. He didn't make it yesterday with Ruff at one point. Then Howard did pinch hit, not for Darren. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Cingrani is ready. So is Howard. They tied him up with a fastball up and in. Cingrani with a couple strikeouts in the inning. No runs, 1 hit. And 1 man left in scoring position. Time to stretch here in Cincinnati. The Phillies trail it by 5. It did look like he was through that inning, but then the Reds exploded. They put 8 runs up in the inning to take a 9-2 lead. Ryan Howard's 2-run home run has made it 9-4. So now we go to the bottom of the 7th inning. This week only, T-Mobile customers can get a free season-long subscription to MLB.tv Premium. Go to T-Mobile.com/MLB to sign up now and catch every moment on America's fastest-growing LTE network. Jay Bruce, part of the reason why the Reds have the lead, will start it off here in the bottom of the 7th against Brett Oberholzer. He has 4 RBIs today, a 3-run home run and an RBI single. That was part of that 8-run 4th inning for Cincinnati. Oberholzer allowed an inherited runner to score in the 4th inning, but has allowed 2 hits so far, and his role as the long man. One ball and 1 strike. Out towards center field. That ball is crushed. Herrera on the run, and he's going to run out of room. That one's gone. A solo home run for Jay Bruce. He has 5 RBIs this afternoon. And it's now 10-4 Cincinnati.
Oberholzer trying to get inside here with a fastball, just not able to get it in far enough, and Jay Bruce is having himself a day. See Chooch setting up inside. That ball cuts back a little bit out over the plate. Bruce drives it out to center.
So 2 homers, 5 RBIs today for Bruce. Here's Jordan Pacheco. And he hits the first pitch foul behind the plate, 0-1.
Well, I know we talked about that trade, that possibly Bruce going to Toronto, and rumor has it he was the one that failed the physical. I think today he's proved that he feels healthy. Has that power swing back.
18 times during his career he's had a multi-home run game. Today is number 18. One ball and 1 strike to Pacheco, and he pulls it foul toward the Phillies dugout, and it's 1-2. Kivas Sampson is warming up in the pen for the Reds. We have not seen him so far in this series. Fly ball, shallow center, and Odubel's there. One away here in the bottom of the 7th inning. And Ivan DeJesus Jr. is going to be the batter. DeJesus is 0 for 2 today. He walked and scored back in the 4th inning. Not pleased with the fact that he went down looking on strikes his last time up. Takes a little low, 1-1. Swing and a miss. It's 2-2. Ivan DeJesus is a second-generation Major League Baseball player. His dad, of course, played for the Phils beginning in the '82 season, and after the '84 season went to St. Louis. He came over to the Phillies from the Cubs, and he's down on strikes, so there are 2 outs. He has struck out twice today. On the Toyota National League scoreboard, coming up in just a little bit, the Marlins will be in Washington to take on the Nationals. Marlins 0-2. The Nationals swept their 2-game series against the Atlanta Braves. Tanner Roark on the mound for the Nats. Dodgers are in San Francisco. That's a 4:35 first pitch. Dodgers, of course, shut the Padres out 3 straight games. Alex Wood will take on Jake Peavy. And then you saw Chicago and Arizona. That's at 9:40 tonight. John Lackey make his Cubs debut. Ruby De La Rosa will be on the mound for the D-backs. 2 balls and no strikes to Tucker Barnhart. Back to the screen, 2-1.
Well, Oberholzer came in a tough situation and has done a very nice job out of the bullpen today. 3+ innings so far, saving that bullpen, getting ready for a big series in New York.
Out toward left center field. That's going to drop in for a base hit. Barnhart is aboard for the 4th time today. He has 3 hits.
Roy Hobbs.
And now the pitcher's spot, Tyler Holt will be the hitter.
I would assume that this would be Brett's last inning. For the simple fact he's at 58 pitches right now. And
yeah, I would agree with that. I mean, and at this point, the Phillies can manage the, the last at bat for the Reds.
One at bat if they don't come back in this one. And there's only 1 more inning to pitch.
Holt takes a strike. It's 0-1. We've seen Holt the last couple of nights as a pinch runner. Made a fantastic play defensively in left field in Monday night's ball game. He scored the game winner last night. It goes down as the game winner. I thought he was going to run over Suarez, who was the guy that scored before him. He was only about 7 or 8 feet behind him as he was coming around the third base line. Suarez was coming home kind of celebrating the victory, and Holt is just bearing down on him.
Holt has his stance is almost the exact same as Tulowitzki's. Straight up, no knee bent, high hands.
Does he go with the toe tap or the high leg kick?
Little leg kick.
Little leg kick. It's in between the high leg kick and the toe tap. Here we go. Look, he's right behind him. Look, Suarez is kind of celebrating, and Holt's like right on his heels. Look out.
I'm going to pass the baton.
Down the right field line. That'll be out of play. And Barnhart goes back toward the first base bag.
Interesting that Ryan Howard's holding the runner at first base. 6-run lead.
He's definitely not going anywhere.
Swing and a miss, and that is it for the Reds here in the 7th inning. 2 strikeouts for Oberholzer. A home run allowed to Jay Bruce, his second of the day. We go to the 8th inning. The Phils trailing it by 6. Change the way you experience TV and buy Nissan. Choose Nissan today for great offers and a most exciting lineup ever. Shop ChooseNissan.com. On a cool afternoon here in Cincinnati, we go to the top of the 8th inning. The Reds lead at 10-4. And the Phils will look at a new pitcher. Keyvis Sampson will be the new pitcher for the Reds. The Reds bullpen has not allowed a run in this series so far. Today it's Jumbo Diaz and Tony Cingrani, both with scoreless innings of work in relief of Robert Stevenson. Last year, Sampson 2-6, an ERA of 6.54.
4-pitch pitcher, fastball, curveball, slider change. Will top out at 93 miles an hour.
Reds claimed him off waivers in January of last year. So last season was his first season with Cincinnati. He's over from the Padres organization, where he's been a mixture of a starter and a reliever. Facing Andres Blanco, Cedric Hunter, Carlos Ruiz as we begin the 8th inning.
And that's why you see the 4 pitches. Mostly starters, most of the time, have 4 pitches. Very seldom will you see a reliever come in with 4.
1 ball and 1 strike. .93 miles an hour. So if you are a starting pitcher that becomes a reliever, when do you get to the point where you're paring down those pitches to just 2 or maybe 3?
See what ones work best for you.
Or which one doesn't work the best.
Yeah.
Check swing. Ball hit the mask of Barnhart. Are you at the point sometimes where you still have it in your repertoire and then maybe one day you'll use, let's say, the 4th pitch, or do you get rid of it totally? Ryan Matson used to juggle with that all the time. He used to come to camp working on a curveball and would throw a 12-6 curveball, but then would rarely ever throw it in the game.
You know, what's funny is Trevor Hoffman threw 4 pitches.
Did he really?
Yeah.
Strike 3 called. Blanco down looking. Boy, that pitch looked low.
There were times I put one down, one side of the plate, one side of the other plate, shake, and then, all right, he wants to change up. No, he doesn't want that. Curveball. He could throw a first pitch hook. And that wasn't great, but the hitter's thinking, wait, Trevor Hoffman throws a breaking ball?
It's interesting. Well, here's Cedric Hunter, who homered back in the 4th inning, his first major league home run. Pitch is in the dirt. So Hunter, with that home run, it was 5 years and 2 days between hits. And here are the non-pitchers, the last 6, who have gone at least 5 years in between hits in their major league career.
Jason Lane, Houston Astros?
Yeah. Didn't he come back as a pitcher also?
Came back, he made back as a pitcher.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sean Burroughs, which is kind of surprising. He made it to the big leagues so quickly and then had a couple of years with San Diego, then fizzled out and came back years later. 2 balls and 1 strike to Cedric Hunter. Cedric is 1 for 3 in this ball game. A couple of ground outs to go along with that home run. Whacks that one foul, 2-2.
So Matt, where do you think your first hit ball would be? Where could it possibly be?
I've probably had about 13 dogs or 14 dogs since then.
I was going to say, because Ben's going to venture up to your house and start organizing. He's going to organize your memorabilia. 2-2. $11 or 12 dogs.
And that's on the low. Since I got 6 right now.
That's it?
Yep.
I thought feeding 4 kids was tough. I didn't imagine that many dogs.
They're the dirt, 3-2, right between the legs of Barnhart.
Cedric seems like he's more relaxed today. He was kind of fired up opening night. Pinched hit last night. Just his body is just. He looks a lot more hitterish than the first 2 nights. He's more relaxed. And I guess a home run will do that to you.
Now there's ball 4, so he works out a 1-out walk. Carlos Ruiz is due up. Time for the Major League Notebook. Murph, take it away.
It is indeed, Tom. Thank you. It's all about the New York Mets today. They took a little time on their off day to get a little bit of jewelry as they got their National League Championship rings today in a ceremony at Citi Field before their off-day workout. Of course, getting ready for their home opener against the Phils tomorrow. 110 diamonds, 42 round sapphires, and 2.75 carats. That is the total for the National League Championship rings of the New York Mets, so they now have those rings. And also, speaking of the Mets, Jacob deGrom is supposed to start tomorrow in the home opener against the Phillies. However, he is waiting for his wife to call. Their baby was due on Tuesday and haven't heard anything yet as that one is just launched down the left field line.
That is a second deck home run for Carlos Ruiz. Launched is the right phrase.
Well, that's good to see.
Carlos has made this a 10-6 ball game. First runs allowed in this series by the Reds bullpen.
That's big boy land up there.
It sure is. That's a quick bat. Replay is coming. You want to see how fast he got this bat through the zone? Look at that.
I like the fact that he finished high. Had that nice, the bat hit his back. As you were saying, Murph?
Murph, continue.
Okay, thank you very much. I hate when I get in the way of Chooch's home runs. I really do. So as I was saying, Jacob deGrom's wife was due on Tuesday with their first child and has not delivered yet. So there is a possibility that he will leave New York if he gets a phone call and fly to Florida to be there for the birth of his child. Then he would not pitch tomorrow. Obviously, Bartolo Colon is thought to be the next in line if he is unable to go on Friday. But they are hoping that the baby will wait one more day. deGrom will pitch tomorrow against the Phils, and then he can fly out. So we'll keep you posted on that. We'll have the complete pitching matchups between the Mets and the Phillies coming up in just a couple minutes, guys.
All right, Murph, we appreciate that. Mark Riggins, the pitching coach, is out to talk to Kivas Sampson. He's allowed the 2-run home run. There is bullpen action. Ross Ohlendorf is starting to warm up. Saturday, April 16th, will the Phillies play the Washington Nationals. It'll be Turkey Hill Kids opening night at Citizens Bank Park. A pullover jacket free to fans 14 and under. Tickets can be purchased for that great giveaway by going to Phillies.com. 2 balls and no strikes to Peter Bourjos, who's 0 for 3 in this game. Hitless in his first 10 ABs. Cesar Hernandez is out of the on-deck circle. Just a 4-run deficit now for the Phils after the 2-run home run by Carlos. 3rd home run hit today by the Phillies.
Get on the board right here, Peter.
There's a line drive toward deep left field going out as Duvall, and it's past him. A 1-hop off the wall. And Bourjos is on the board as he pulls into second with a 1-out stand-up double. Well, the Phils have finally gotten to the Reds bullpen. Maybe they can add on some more. Cesar Hernandez is called back. Darren Ruff is going to be announced as the pinch hitter for the Phils.
Good swing right here. Nice short swing. Shows you how strong he is. That's a whole lot of movement with his hands, but still throwing the barrel. He actually got jammed a little bit on that ball. You know, I know in spring training he was frustrated a few times saying he was pulling the ball too much. There's nothing wrong with pulling a ball a lot if you know how to pull the ball properly. It's better than hitting the weak ground balls to first.
Well, now Darren pinch hitting. In the dirt, blocked by Barnhart. Bourjos does not advance. He went about halfway before he put the brakes on.
I was talking to Darren in the locker room, the clubhouse earlier today, and I said, man, did you clip that one pretty good to right field? He said, as soon as I hit it, I went into jog mode. He said, I thought for sure that was going to be a blast. Then he saw Bruce running back on. He says, oh, I better start picking it up and running a little bit. He said, that's all he had down there.
Oh, the wind was blowing in 40 miles an hour is what it was registered here at the ballpark last night. He was out front of that one. Barnhart off with the mass, back toward the screen, and makes the catch. Two outs. Bourjos back to second, and Freddie Galvis is due up.
Aaron had to go in there to hit. It's elevated. Just clip the bottom of it.
Yeah, once Barnhart put the brakes on and was still looking up, you knew the ball was going to come back. Kind of hoping it would just go out of play. Galvis has a hit today in 4 at-bats. He takes inside. It's 1-0.
Very nice job with Brett Oberholzer today. Very nice job. Picked his teammates up.
Charged with 1 run, 1 inherited runner to score as well. But really found a little life in his fastball as the afternoon went on.
He did. He had a good fastball. I like his changeup a lot. Changeup was down in the zone.
Freddie pokes it foul over the third base side. And now he's in the hole. 1 ball, 2 strikes. To the right side, and charging is Pacheco. Galvis is retired. The Phils settle for the 2 runs on the home run by Carlos Ruiz. They draw a little closer as we go to the bottom of the 8th, down by 4. Boys, it's time now for our Hyundai defensive play of the game, and this was a good one by Freddie Galvis.
It was back in the 3rd inning. De Jesus hit a knuckleball line drive to Freddie Galvis. The ball came up. He kept the glove nice and close to his chest. Came up, and we've seen that spin and throw many, many times from Freddie Galvis. That is your Hyundai defensive play of the game, brought to you by your local Hyundai dealers.
Freddie's made a couple plays in this series that have been very strong out at shortstop. So as we go to the bottom of the 8th inning, Dyer Hinojosa will be the new pitcher. Top of the order is due up. And Schebler fouls the first pitch back. It's 0-1. Schebler had the game-winning hit against Hinojosa in last night's ball game. He's charged with 4 hits and 2 runs in that outing. Phillies had the lead in game 1, lost it in the 8th inning. Had the lead in game 2, lost it in the 9th inning. Back toward the middle, and Andres Blanco can't get to it. Second hit of the day for Schebler. A leadoff single here in the 8th. And Eugenio Suarez will be the batter. He had a grand slam back in the 4th. One of 2 home runs hit in that inning by the Reds.
I'm thinking that Cincinnati has asked the ground screw guys here to make out in front of home plate extremely hard. We've seen some bounces off in front of home plate that have just hit and taken off.
Now, why would that be? You know, because Hamilton obviously has speed. I mean, is there any other reason why they would do that?
No idea. I mean, unless you want topspin. I mean, if you're planning on using front of home plate as an advantage, man, you got some tremendous bat control.
That's what I'm saying. You know, it's not like they're all Joey Vottos that are in this lineup.
I think the infield has been pretty hard in general.
I would agree.
I think it's a very fast infield as well. Seems like it gets on that dirt and it just scoots.
A bit high, and it's 2 balls and 1 strike to Suarez. line drive, base hit it to left center for Suarez. And that'll put 2 runners on with nobody out. Suarez with his second hit of the ball game. That brings Joey Votto to the plate. That brings us to our cold hard fact, brought to you by Clean Crisp Coors Light. And Matt, it's not every day that we can throw you on our Coors Light fact of the game.
Hey.
But Joey Votto has 192 home runs. Among Canadian-born players, well, it's a far cry from Stairsy and Larry Walker.
I think Larry Walker's record's pretty safe.
Unless you're coming back.
His record's pretty safe.
Larry Walker. Still remember the PA address announcer in Colorado.
1-0 to Joey Votto. Votto has a base hit today, 2 runs scored. His check swing infield single started the 8-run rally in the 4th. Fly ball left center field. Odubel was playing deep, so he's able to track it down. Schebler does tag from second to go to third. And 1 away with runners on first and third. And that'll bring Duvall to the plate.
Ball carried a lot better than I expected.
Did. He had that ball, it was in yesterday's game where the same thing happened, where I mean, I know he does have strength that way, but it did carry.
But I will say it was nice to watch Herrera go over and make a nice catch. Carried a lot, covered a lot of ground. But you got to realize you're going away from third base. You have no chance of throwing that runner out tagging. You need to go to the second base and keep the double play in order. Luckily, Suarez stayed at first base.
The ball pops it foul behind the plate. It's 0-1. Phillies try to turn 2 here, keep it at a 4-run deficit going into their final at bat. That was a good fastball, tied him up inside.
Good pitch in on the hands there. Plus, it would mean a lot to Dahlia if he could get out of this unscathed.
Well, there is a method to Pete's madness with putting him in the day after giving up the game last night. As Pete said before the ball game, or he said really last night, but he reiterated it today, is that he has to figure out what's going on with the bullpen. Suarez gets back ahead of the tag. James Russell is warming in the bullpen. Jay Bruce is on deck. And the 0-2 pitch coming. Up high, and it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. His secondary pitches have really been the issue, not only yesterday, I mean, we talked about that, but also in spring training, the last 2 or 3 outings. He was just pumping fastballs when the other pitches weren't working. You know, it's like anybody else. The fastball could be the easiest pitch to hit when you're not locating the other ones. That's popped up foul over the screen behind home plate. Seven fastballs, the 4 sliders, and a changeup. The changeup is the split.
Yeah.
Sometimes, though, it's tough in this weather. If you throw a splitter, it's tough to get that grip.
Got him. Well, that time it was the secondary pitch. It was the breaking ball. And there are 2 outs. And they'll keep him in to face Jay Bruce. Bruce has had a big day. Bruce has 5 RBIs, 2 home runs, and he is providing our W.B. Mason, one of the W.B. Mason deliveries of the game. This is the 3-run shot in that 8-run inning.
That 4th inning was a big inning for Jay Bruce. 3-run shot. They need a single that inning. Suarez with the grand slam out to left. And that was your W.B. Mason deliveries of the game.
First pitch slider is inside. 1 ball and no strikes.
Looked like a good pitch there. I know Chooch wanted it.
I'll be interested to see what Chooch says about the pitch earlier in this game that stumped through that we thought was strike 3. 1 ball and 1 strike. Oh, they got him. Suarez was leaning off first, and Hinojosa picks him off, and the side is retired. No runs, 2 hits, 1 man left. Hinojosa has a clean bottom of the 8th. Now we'll go to the top of the 9th with the last chance for the Phils.
For the Phils as they trail the Mets, or excuse me, as they trail the Reds here in the top of the 9th. Here's what they'll look at the Mets. We'll leave here in Cincinnati, head to New York for the pitching matchups tomorrow. Jared Eichhoff will get the ball for the first time this year, taking on Jacob deGrom. We told you about his story. Vince Velasquez will make his Phillies debut on Saturday versus Bartolo Colon, and then Jeremy Hellickson will take the ball on Sunday, and he'll oppose Matt Harvey when we get to New York. But still here in Cincinnati, and guys, this one's not over yet.
Nope, it's not. There's some changes that the Reds have made. Ross Ohlendorf has come on to pitch to the top of the 9th inning. Billy Hamilton has come on to play center field for the Reds. There's Hamilton. And moving from center field over to left field is Scott Schebler. So the outfield is Schebler in left, Hamilton in center, and Jay Bruce, who has not finished glaring at Suarez at third base, over in right field. And Odubel will start things off. The Phillies down by 4 here in the top of the 9th inning, trying to wrap up this series with a victory against the Reds. And here's the old school windup by Ross Ohlendorf. I don't know if it throws your timing off or what, but he throws an 85-mile-an-hour changeup to start this at bat for Odubel. I mean, who didn't fool around with this kind of emotion when they were a kid? It's all about command and getting himself centered the right way. He's changed his motion an awful lot during the course of his career. Joe Kerrigan used to work with him when he was in Pittsburgh, and they tinkered with his motion a lot. I think Odubel's timing is way off right now.
And when you say centered for a pitcher, it means centered over the rubber. And you get to that good balanced position.
He gets a strikeout to start the 9th inning. Well, just 2 earned runs allowed in this series by the Reds bullpen. That's one of the storylines.
Off-speed pitch. Tom, you hit it right on the head of the nail. His timing was way off right now. Out in front of the off-speed, behind on the fastball.
Oh, Franco, man, hit. Oh, man. Hit on that wrist. He's got the padding on that wrist. Okay, so hit the elbow. Okay. Not that it's less painful, but as long as it stays away from the bone that was broken last year. So Franco goes to first base after being hit by a pitch. Ryan Howard, who homered back in the 5th inning, is 2 for 4 today. Will be the batter. The Phillies down by 4.
Yeah, you do just kind of hold your breath.
You don't want to say that he's everything for the Phils offensively, but he's the most important piece.
It means an awful lot
to the offense for the Phillies. Can't afford to have him out of the lineup at all. 1 ball and no strikes to Howard. Up high, 2-0. Barnhart will run out, talk to Ohlendorf.
Tom, if you allow me to wish a happy 7th birthday to Riley Ann Davis, my daughter.
Happy birthday, Riley.
I don't know if she's home from school yet, but
it's a long school day if she's not home from school there, Big Ben.
They start late. Can't believe she's 7.
That one is hit out toward right field. Jay Bruce will settle under it. It was hit down toward the end of the bat. Would have been nice for Ryan to hit a home run for Riley.
Yep.
Another one. 2 outs.
Yeah.
And Andres Blanco's the batter.
That one just off the end.
Blanco is 0 for 3, hit by a pitch. Franco's still feeling that.
Oh, he will be.
Joey Votto, I think, just asked him if he was okay. Andres is flied out to left center, struck out looking. He was hit by a pitch in the 5th inning. First pitch is over. It's 0-1. Yeah, I'll tell you, Ohlendorf's velocity has been good in these 2 games. He hit 94 the other night. He was with the Royals in spring training and had one of those opt-out clauses, and he opted out. Out towards second base. Pacheco's got it, goes to second, and the Cincinnati Reds have swept out the Phils. They finish off this series with a 10-6 victory. So after coming from behind in the first 2 games to win it, the Reds scored 8 runs in the 4th inning this afternoon and never looked back. Jay Bruce, our Chevrolet player of the game, 2 home runs, 5 RBIs, a 3-run shot, a solo shot, an RBI single in this afternoon's ball game. He and Suarez each hit home runs in that 8-run 4th inning. Suarez's was a grand slam, and Bruce's was a 3-run shot. So 10-6 the final score. The Reds have swept out the Phils here in Cincinnati.